speed. Oh, I've made a big cock up here. Hello again everybody, welcome back to Cities Skylines. You are watching Poison Fog Gaming, and this series is all about how far we can push the game, bearing in mind I've recently bought a new PC. So that's all this is. It's going to be largely vanilla. There are going to be some mods. If you want to know which mods, check out my video on my top 20 mods. We are only going to be using the first 13 of those mods. Or up to the first 13 of those mods. They're all comfort-based mods really. For example, tree brush. I can put that down in one click rather than 100 clicks. As for the map, I did consider going for a fancy custom map, but since we're doing a vanilla focused game, let me just pull up the screen to decide what map we're going to be using. Random number generator. Click. 23. We're going to be using the 23rd map. So map number 23 out of the 24 that I have the expansions for, not including the frozen one because I didn't want to do that, must be Pine Rivers. Oh good god, what a spaghetti. It does not have ships, very little oil, but hey ho, that is what it is. We're going to see how far we can push this game. So here we are in what is apparently Lake Valley. It's got a bit of a hump, but this is what we're going to be working with. Now I have already done a fairly in-depth tutorial on how to start a new city. However, we are going to have to start a new city for this to take place. We all know about putting the piddly little bit of road down. The last one, however, was quite grid-like. We do not need to do that. And if you were going to settle anywhere in this patch of land, where would you do it? That's right, you would do it down by the river. So let's do exactly that. I cannot imagine any reason why you would not choose that as your main residential. And as for your industry, where would you put that? Well, not too far away, funnily enough. So we'll assume a road comes down here. I think potentially residential in the forest area. And that might even become actual forestry once we unlock it, but we don't yet have it unlocked. But that sounds about right as we are. And of course this will ideally turn into a little bit more of a grid. We're not looking for it to be exact, we're looking for it to be more organic. That is a rough guideline for what we're going to do. We are not going to spend more money than necessary building out that road. However, we are going to have an offshoot for our industry, and that is going to conform to the land. So already we're not doing this grid system. We are making a very, very different city to what our tutorial was. Okay, and before we run out of money, that is going to be our starting road layout. What do we need? We need electricity. It is debatable whether or not I will be able to afford that. So what I'm going to do is prioritise my piping first. Right, electricity will be needed as well. Let's do electricity in a big L shape, and now we know how much we can afford for our electricity and our water. We must have one of these for the water. Which way is that water flowing? From north to east. So stick you there where the pylons will reach you. You know something? I am going to start off with towers. I'm going to save myself a bit of money here. We will fully end up getting the suckery up bits, but we're going to start off with a tower. So that's water taken care of, and we have plenty money left for a power plant. Of course, before we hit play, we can reduce our road maintenance and our electricity funds, etc. Now, if we hit play, oh no, don't hit play. Why on earth did I hit play? I've missed something. I've missed connecting this up with a pipe, and I've missed zoning things in because I am a plonker. So you will see the tutorial is popping up. This is because I have gone to the settings and told the game to reset all of its unlockables. We're going to be doing that together. So don't think that I've already got something unlocked from previous playthroughs. This is all fresh. There's no reason not to double up these housing. It's not going to cost me any more. Getting set up initially is the big headache here. Once we're set up, money will not be a problem, but it is a case of getting over the first few hurdles. And we shall put in some shops, because they will moan for shops at some point. And the electricity should spread. Now we can hit play, and we can even go up to 3 speed. They will want workplaces as well. So the next stage is we are going to add in some industry, and that is going to be coming along from our power plant. Again, hopefully the game has enough brains to only put it where there's a power source at the moment. Inevitably, we are losing money. That is just the way it is. However, you can see over here, with the exception of these shops, it is filling in according to the power lines. This is my City Vitals mod that I discussed in my top 10 playthrough. Again, it's not going to do anything apart from just show us our availability of things with a simple click rather than going through all the menus. And even at 3 speed, oh, I've made a big cock up here. I'm glad I've noticed that before I ran out of money. I have not connected up my roads. Outside connection needed. Thank you very much, game, for letting me know. So now we should get people moving in. Let's see if we can see any of them coming in. We do have nighttime on. I may turn this off, especially if it's going to start to bother people. In fact, I'm going to make that decision now. We're going to turn off the day-night cycle. Use day-night cycle. That is gone. There we go. We want you all to be able to see what's happening rather than me just being a twat. I wish I could get rid of this Find Road Anarchy thing. I only installed it because of an asset, and it didn't seem to show up in my mod manager. It's a bit annoying, but there we go. That is the story behind that. So we do now have a demand for industry. I think it was the outside connection stopping that. Here's all the cars coming in. We can properly zoom in. I do have the zoom it mod on. That is a lot of traffic coming in all at once. And we are already making money, which is positive. What we don't have is electricity to these shops. We've already got one abandonment as a result. Broken Arse game is broken. You would have thought they could have figured that out. So there is still some space for every available zoning option. We could also use more. Oh, we've got Little Hamlet, so that is our first source of large income. We have access to our taxes, our loans, garbage, healthcare, and education. That is good. Annoyingly, it also puts us down to 1 speed when that happens. I say that because that was the bane of my life while trying to do Biffa's 30-minute challenge. So how much money do we have? We've got enough to build 2 out of the 3 unlocks. I want the dirt road for much cheapness. Let's come through here where we're not yet disrupting any houses. Garbage facility as far away as we can. That is the most important one in my opinion. Garbage will accumulate, however people will not necessarily get sick unless you pollute them, and they do not necessarily need education ASAP, although it will help growth. We'll pop the school in there. Well, in fact, I might be able to afford the hospital as well. We're going to do it. We like the idea that that is now going to help our city grow. So that is our first 3 unlocked buildings in. We're still making money. We're still growing in population. Our city vitals are all good. What shall we do next? The RCI demand, that is these 3 bars down here, are still good. Next up, it might be a case of building more roads and subsequently more pipes. So it would be silly to piss away all the money right now. Pop it onto 3 speed for a while. So the money has started to rise again. The demand has now outweighed the available zoning space. So we're going to pop in more places that we can zone roads to. In fact, we can also get a little bit more housing by the river. They may not be able to stay there forever. And we can also put some shops coming to and from our industry area. But yes, we are going to have to expand with more roads. Oh, we're missing some water. So, if this was our small town, where do you think people would want to live next? You still don't want to live next to your industry. Nice little forest here, might be nice for people to live around. So, all the available water space is taken. So let's do that. I am going to have to destroy someone's house. and I'm only going to be a little bit sorry. Oh, we have worthy village status. That is good. We will deal with that in due course. However, I am trying now to make some other people have a happy living situation. Don't yet know where that road's going to go, but there it is. If we did keep this forest intact, it may well make a nice little park at one point. So that is going to be our new residential. I see no reason not to just en masse zone the whole thing in. After all, that is what it is for. It will need piping. Electricity is probably / hopefully going to spread to it anyway. And yes, you will see it is spreading from the area where we have electricity already established. That is good. However, we need to up our budget. Don't actually think we need to care about the nighttime budget now that I've turned nighttime off. But that is the way it is. Water, probably going to have to go up as well. Still making lots of money, still have lots of people travelling through. And it seems only logical as well that we give these people a crossroads so that they do not have to end up travelling through the whole town to get to work. So that is looking good. We have run out of industrial space, however, not too much of a demand, so it's not been an issue. I'm also wary about keeping some money spare for the sole purpose of adding in our new unlockables that we just unlocked, which were, I believe, mainly the fire and police departments. Now, as before, garbage I prioritised as more important than the other two because that is an immediate need. Fire is the same. Things are more likely, I believe, to catch fire than at this stage crimes to be committed. That said, we can afford both. We are going to put both in. That's just going to be the way it is. It will help our city grow, and we're at another point whereby we can slowly start to just fill in more of the areas that our RCI demand claims we need. Just to double check, we have also unlocked loans, districts, policies, a few other good things as well. We have unlocked forestry specialisation, which we might do. I just don't want to bankrupt ourselves quite at the moment yet. We did want to put a little bit of forestry in, and we're only going to do generic forestry. We'll put it in on this road here. We'll go forestry, and we will put in one road and no more. That is going to be our forestry area for now, not indefinite. Just so we've got a bit of variation in the town, because, well, it's safe to say that you kind of would get into forestry. It kind of harks into one of my gripes of the game, you don't settle in the middle of nowhere, you settle near resources. You settle near bloody trees and rivers and transport links. So you would actually be working this before you work that. So why would you build it that way around in a city builder? It makes no sense. Anyway, rant over. We could start to think about another few shops now. And I think from here to here is not a bad location for some shops. And potentially the same up here. Even put a little few shops either side of our industry. I am a fan of mixed use zoning. This obviously is not that. You don't really get that in this game, but Cities Skylines 2, take notes, that would be bloody useful. And it is time for another little boost of 3 speed. And surprise, surprise, we are back with another promotion up to the tiny town status. We have now unlocked parks, industry areas, landscaping, a whole host of good things. So we are going to enjoy those things, but we also need to give our Sims more electricity first. Pop a generator in by the garbage dump. I like to keep all my crappy, horrible stuff together. The water is going to need some attention as well. And we'll do that with another tower. And we have mentioned parks. Does that include custom parks yet? Or yes, it does. So we said that this area in here, the woodland area, would make a nice little park. And we now have parks unlocked, so why would we not do it? It's only going to be a small nature reserve. But it does make sense to put this in. What we need to do first, I think, is put in the park area, which is going to be this here. And it does need to touch the road if we want to put the entrances on the road. And we only need a small main gate. It's a very modest area that straight away unlocks new things. We put another couple of gates at other prominent positions. And not to piss away on anyone's houses, but that will do there. We are also going to fence this area off fully. Oh, I don't actually like the placement of that. I would like to move you. And the reason I want us to relocate that is so I can put fences in without them looking absolutely garbage. Fences, in my opinion, should be running along the back of what is going to be the residential areas to put in our final little segment of fencing. There we go. So the fencing, we have 3 entrances and exits for this quote-unquote nature reserve. We shall path all of them together. And I don't necessarily want to delete too many trees, but we will try and get a pleasant little winding path through the trees that we do have. There we go, lovely. Do we want to add any bits and bobs? This park isn't necessarily going to be a money maker, it's just to make the area nice and pleasant for those who want to live here. If people want to come in and camp, that is fine by me. So a few campfires dotted about. Should be an area whereby you can, as long as you treat it responsibly, be nice and private in here. It should be quiet. I have to stop because we're running out of money. I've also neglected my pipes, which I would like to fix ASAP, and have failed to fix ASAP. We are still making money though, so it shouldn't be that big an issue. Money should come in before these guys leave. So they've just turned red, bang in the pipe, and that should fix their problem. They'll not be leaving our city. Camp off up to 3 speed, but we are still potentially going to put in a few bits and bobs to our park. People will be free to, of course, camp. So a few tents beside the fire sites. And that's about all we can do with this area at the moment. So there you go, we can see what we've done. Tents, gazebos, picnic benches, a campfire site in there. That doesn't actually look too safe. Maybe that's not what we should be doing with the campfires. Maybe we will relocate them out to where I've put the tents and where there are less trees. Seems to make some semblance of sense. So that's our park. You can see now that people have decided to live all around the edges, which is fine by me. But it does mean we have an opportunity to expand. So, where would expanding happen now? It would make sense to expand further outside of this loop and connect up to here also. And I'm also thinking we want people to have access to the park, so that is where I'm going to put my adjoining roads. And I'm also going to be following the curvature best I can of our already established roads, because that just seemed to be the smart move. And that road, I don't know where it's going to go yet, but it's going to go somewhere. Now, I don't particularly like full-on crossroads, so I am going to be a bit of a shitty mare and destroy a few houses, but needs must. Okay, that will do nicely. We have demand for more industry and more living areas, but I do have to be cautious of my piping. We're almost covered this area, and in fact I'm confident enough to zone that all in now. For the most part I can see this being residential, and I'm fairly convinced that won't cover all the piping, but it is what it is. We are going to need to add in some more industry. Question is, what are we going to add in and where? We've also hit Boomtown, and that includes the transport. That is where things start to get fun. So we have our ferries, our trams, taxis, tours, buses. We've also unlocked our ore industry, and we have unlocked more motorway tools. Quite sure as well, yes, we have unlocked new bits of land. So when I say we are also needing to build more industry, to preserve my nice living area, what I might do is build a forestry elsewhere. And it might be this patch down here. That would make sense. Because you've got a large living area in the middle, workplaces sporadically spotted out to each side. Could easily get highway access to both. I think that is going to be the plan for next time. That said, ladies and gents, if you've been watching, thank you very much. If you've enjoyed yourself, and you must have if you've got to this stage of the video, please show your support. A like, a subscribe, and come back for the next one. Ladies and gents, have a good day. Ta-ra!